Hey, everybody. I can't hear. It's Bench. Hey, Miss T. Hey, Andrea. Forget me not. Yeah, I can't hear myself. Don't come back here. Don't. Oh, thank you. Close that door, Story, please. Thank you.
Can you all hear me now?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Bench. You can hear me?
Yep, really clear. I don't know
Okay.
what was going on with that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming, everybody. So, I feel like I'm picking off from where I left off last year. Well, my very first live video was last year, my 49th birthday, and I will be 50 on the 21st. So, in my video that I did last year, I discussed my self healing, self love journey. So, I'm picking up from there. I've been doing writing. I guess I can call it writing with friends, a journaling thing to commemorate my birthday, where we talked about self love and its impact on different areas, and of course, that self-awareness, self-affirming, self-confidence and those things. And when you write, it's like your pages speak to you. So then I come up on self-assessment, and I realize some truths that I have to reconcile with. And one of those would be, being judgmental. So that's why the title says, am I toxic? And if you're judgmental, you are most definitely toxic. And so I asked BB to join me because I feel like she's really authentic, and I like how she talks about her journey to where she is, and the way that she used to be. So
Oh.
BB, you want to add?
I want to thank you, first of all, for even inviting me. It is truly an honor. Bidge, when I listen to you just through messaging and everything, I think you're so intelligent and have a lot of wisdom that I can learn from, that we all can learn from. So, I do appreciate you inviting me up here to speak about this. I myself, I didn't just land here. I had to grow into this. I had to keep telling myself and keep praying to God to make me beautiful in and out, in and out. And I would do that every single day. I would just pray to God, to the Most High, to just help me work on me. And once he knew that I was ready, that's what started to happen. I started to work on me. I started to see things about myself that, it wasn't no one else's fault. It was mine. And only I can fix it. And that's what I started doing. I'm not saying I'm 100% there, because I'm not, but I work on it every day. And I pride myself into working at it every day. It's not hard to be a good person. It's really not. You just have to decide that's who you want to be.
Yeah, I decided that it's actually a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And a lifestyle is something that we live. So if we continue to do things contrary, and that's a contradiction to actually evolving for the betterment of all people, it makes you more conscientious in what you entertain, and not only what you entertain but what you project.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that came to me during writing was that there's been times when I didn't know what I was projecting, and there's this one incident, and it's clear as day. About 7 years ago, I was 43. I got a text message, and the girl says, she's going off on me, saying that I was talking about her, which I was. But I was more mad that she called me old than that she called me miserable. But that was something that stuck out on me, stuck out to me. And I will say that because I didn't know, I don't know why that bothered me, because I really didn't know that I was miserable at that time. I didn't know. But like I said, I was more mad that she called me miserable, and not that that she called me old, and not that she called me miserable. So that's something that I'm also conscientious of when I'm engaging with other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to project that, and any person that's miserable, that's what they're going to project.
I used to have to I had a big mouth. I was very opinionated and judgmental. And I used to have to back that up. So I would get into a lot of fights unnecessarily because of my mouth, because I didn't have no control over things that I said. I would just blurt things out, whether it hurt your feelings or not, because I felt like I was being real. And it got me into so much trouble, and I had to really grow up and realize that everything you think about don't really need to be said. Don't nobody always want to hear what you got to say. And that's something I had to learn. I've lost good friends because of my actions, the things that I've said to them, or me thinking that I'm better than, or I got the right to judge what they're doing and tell them what to do. And I've lost good friendships over that. So I really had to change me and really do a lot of self digging and just realize, like, you're not perfect and you make mistakes too. And who are you to tell someone how to live or how they should look or how anything? Just who are you to be able to think that you can do that? And enough of me getting in troubles and fights and stuff. I just got to a place where I didn't have to, I chose to, like, I don't have to be who everybody want me to be or who everybody expects me to be. I can only just aspire to be myself. And the minute I started doing that, like, people just was dropping off like flies. I no longer had things in common with the same group of people, and it did, the work was done for itself. It spoke volumes to me. With me, it's trying to wonder why. I appreciate that, because my life is so much more stress free, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yep, I do. I was on mute. I get what you're saying. And while I didn't almost get into any fights, I definitely lost my share of jobs, getting fired for firing off at the firing off at the mouth, thinking I'm right, being loud and wrong is ever disrespectful. But I believe that was anger coming out of me. And
Mm-hmm.
person was talking to me one day and she said beneath anger most of the time is hurt,
Mm-hmm.
is hurt and pain. And so that was my trouble with that.
Yeah.
um getting into it with that. And then to piggyback off of the saying, how the right feeling entitled, I'll even use the word entitled to push my ideas on the way that people should live, how they should live. And being judgmental or ridiculing their situation. I always say that people we engage, their mirrors, their reflections. So their reflection of our former selves,
Mm-hmm.
the way that we need, where we need to be while we're evolving, or either where we're heading. Because just like we can look down on people and be judgmental and condescending, there's people that for a better lack of words, I'll say upper echelon, they can be just as condescending to us, feeling that they're at a certain caliber in society.
Right.
But
And
yeah.
that's what had to happen. I had to get it back. Like a lot of times you don't really understand it until it's put back into your face. Then you see it from another angle. And sometimes people still don't see it, but that had to start happening to me. So I just feel like where I'm at now, I just know I got more wisdom than I had 5 and 10 years ago. And I love it because I'm able to pick and choose my battles. I'm able to be quiet. I'm able to bow out gracefully and not feel away like I have to prove myself to anyone.
Yep, I get I get that. I had to call my older sister yesterday because on my 30th birthday, let me tell you, I cried for about 2 days. And I called her and I said, it was probably like midnight, and I was living, 1,000 miles away from all of my family, relocated. And called her and I said, "It's my birthday." And she's like, "Yeah, I know." And I just went to crying. And she's like, "Oh, what's going on? Did somebody do something to you?" And I said, "I'm 30 and I haven't accomplished anything in my life." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're all so proud of you. You just picked up and moved by yourself, across country and everything." And so when I talked to her yesterday, I asked her if she remembered that. She said yes, because when you started crying, it scared me. And I thought, something was happening to you. I said, but now I totally embrace my 50th birthday. And I'm just so grateful for growth. And I'm just so grateful for growth. I embrace the wisdom and experience and more than anything, want to be better vibrationally at 50 than I always say I was just so dumb in my 20s than where I was at in my 20s.
Yeah.
So I love that. I even love the fact that I was able to recognize within myself that certain characteristics that people have that I don't like, it's because those things are also in me. And that goes back to me saying about the reflections, or that our engagements with other people, that they are mirrors.
That's so true. That's so true. But how I look at it, when I see people that kind of resemble how I was, wait a minute. I think I have to close out something because you can't hear. I feel like I'm echoing. Am I clearer now?
No, you weren't echoing before. You're
Oh,
fine.
oh, I thought I was. Okay. When I see people that kind of resemble how I used to be, it always makes me giggle because I always know, okay, they have to get to where I'm at. And instead of being angry with them, it makes me understand them a lot better because I was once there. And when I was there, nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I knew it all the same way they do. And it's so funny how parents would tell us this and we didn't listen, and now we find ourselves doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Even that's, I think of instances of with my son and, behaviors that, even spanking them for things that I shouldn't have spanked him for.
Mhm.
But and I feel bad about it. He's grown. But I didn't know any better. I just
Mhm.
totally did not know any better.
Yeah, that's it's with us growing up in a climate that we did with our parents and stuff. It's so many things that we didn't know. We just did, our parents did the best they could with the resources they had. There's so many more resources out there now for us that they wasn't privy to. So there's always a different way to chastise your kids now that we know. And sometimes we want to go back to those days because we like we're okay. But are we?
Oh, you know that we're not, or we wouldn't
Right.
be here in this conversation about, toxic traits and becoming reformed women of toxicity,
Yeah. Yeah. So, some things you want to hold on to, but some things you really need to let go and try something else because it didn't work then and it's definitely not going to work now.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So one thing I say to my mom is, she says something about one of the grandchildren. I say, Mom, we always have to give people room to make mistakes.
Right. It's the hardest thing to do, but it's real. It's very real.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I forgot I could put. It's been so long since I did this. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I really don't know what I'm doing. I agree with the smart show. Like I always say now, like I'm trying to put his thing up. I always say now that you know, I don't think it's effective to physically discipline your kids.
No.
And the thing is, I did with my son, right? But I didn't get whoopings. And my son says I used to try to kill him. I don't remember that, but he was like, you used to try to kill me.
My mother used to give me a choice. She used to say either you can get your ass whooped or you can be on punishment. Needless to say, I was on punishment for a whole year because I was scared to get a butt whooping.
Well, you just said you came out okay.
Yeah, I did. What it did was spark my creativity, if nothing else.
Yeah, yep, it would do that. It would do that all the time. So, I said some of the things that I find that I think is toxic behavior. Do you have any that you would want to say that I didn't say?
um, Toxic behavior it could be in so many forms. Being in an abusive relationship and thinking it's okay. Accepting, I was watching something and it made me think of how much we accept things that we shouldn't and we think it's going to turn around and we really know it's not. When you're in a toxic relationship and you guys are constantly arguing and fighting and you keep saying, oh, this is what couples do. Yeah, it is, but to a certain extent, it shouldn't go to the point where you guys are calling each other out your names or somebody have to put their hands on you. And how many times have we been in those type of relationships and we just looked at it as, oh, it was just something that happened and we moved on. And when we really shouldn't have thinking that, oh, it's never going to happen again. And it happens over and over and over again till somebody can't take it no more. And either someone gets hurt, get killed, or get wind up in a bad situation. And
Yeah,
we think
I
that's
agree. And the thing is, though, some people they don't even know that they're in a toxic relationship because we also like our generation, our parents and their parents, they were taught that no matter what, especially if you married and have kids, you stay.
yeah.
Like there's no such thing as divorce. And since I've been single for most of my adult life, like most of my life, I feel like after 40,
Mhm.
I always say that and I pronounce it die. Like divorce is not a it's not a dirty word,
Mhm,
If it's
mhm.
toxic, and the kids know, people be thinking kids don't know. I'm just staying together from the kid for the kids. Children know.
They absolutely know. They hear and see everything. And that's another thing that's toxic, arguing and fighting in front of your kids, saying things that you shouldn't in front of your kids, allowing your kids to be around you when you're doing certain things. And I that part I do appreciate from my mother is the fact that whatever she did, I was not privy to it. I wasn't allowed in those settings. And I look now to a lot of adults growing up now when they have their children, they don't have a sitter. Instead of saying, I can't do it, they'll take their kids with them. And so their kids is around all types of toxic behavior, picking it up, grabbing it in, soaking it all in like sponges. And, that's the bulk. That's where it starts.
Yep, it does. It definitely does. I know, like, even peers that I pretty fond of, grew up, knew as children and everything. And I like, you pointed out that, the people that were probably not conducive to your growth, that how
Mhm,
they just fell out of your life.
mhm.
That's about where I am, just
Yep.
let them go. And then you say, dust the dust the kick the dust off your feet.
Yes, yes, but guess
Yeah.
what, Benj? How about I still miss it, and sometimes I'll go back. Like, I really feel like, "Oh, I haven't seen such and such in a while, in months, and I have to go back to see this person," and just to, make sure they okay and just to break bread with them and everything. But when I get there, it's still the same thing that I didn't like before, still there, still in the same spot.
Yeah.
So what is that keeps me every now and again wanting to go back?
Man, I have no idea, because now people that I, was fond of, enjoy their company and everything, when they come across my mind, and that get that nostalgic feeling, like, I want to be around, I need some of their energy. Shit, I remember all of the other demons that they got with them, and that's enough. That reminds my ass that, that. And I say it all the time, whatever energy is with, like, you get the energy, the entire embodiment. So you can't pick and choose, like, oh man, she's so binge, is so fun, she like to have fun, but also can't forget that, shit, every restaurant we go to, we get kicked out because of binge.
Right, 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 and
you know
I hold on to, the fact that I've been friends with these people for so long. I hold on to that. Like, I wanna hold on to that friendship and don't wanna let it go. How even though I know it's toxic, I know every time I go in that space, it's going to be toxic, and every time I leave that space, it's like I say to myself over and over again, I'm not going back. That's it. I done had enough. And then I find myself, it might be months. Like I said, it might be months going by. And then I think about them and call them. And girl, come over. We doing X, Y, Z. All right, I'm coming. It's like it don't stop. And I know that it's toxic, but I still keep going back.
Well, I don't know about you, because baby, let me tell you, I will cut off toxic family members. And if I can't completely cut them off, I spend very limited time with them.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
mean
that's
it. Like,
okay. So then
mhm.
that's good, bitch, because I can say that my time is limited. When I do go, I don't stay long. I go, I kick it, we laugh, we joke, and then I leave. You know, so I can say that. I just know that I still carry, I still have a piece of toxicity in me to even desire going back when I do.
Well, shoot, I do too. But so I feel like, okay, so mine isn't so my so I will say that at this point, my biggest one would be like the one that I need to work on the most, really, is giving my opinion, or and saying things that I shouldn't. which I'm so easily annoyed when I hear other people, talking. And in my mind, I'd be like, damn, she talks so damn much. But then I might run and tell somebody that. So
That's
so
a
how
hard
they say
thing.
you're pointing your finger at one person and you got three fingers pointing back at yourself.
Right, right, right. That's hard. That's hard, bitch. I'm telling you, it's hard. What I did learn to do, if I'm going to give my opinion, first I'll just give me I'll point out a relationship I have with another one of my friends. When I speak to this person, I'll let them vent or do whatever. And then when they talk about a certain subject, I will just simply ask, like, do you want me to just listen or you want my opinion?
Oh,
I
okay.
will ask because I was very keen on just blurting out my opinion, whether it was needed or wanted. Like I would just do it because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. So now I learned that, you know what? She didn't ask me for my opinion. She's just talking. So I just need to learn how to let her talk. And then I can simply add, do you want me to listen to you or do you want me to give my opinion? And even when she says yes, I always think before I speak because I want to say it in the best way where it's not going to offend the person. But again, Benj, this is not how I always was. I would just give it to you straight. No chaser. And it will hurt people's
I'm
feelings.
not there yet. Well, because I'm sitting here cracking up. I'm working on that. Okay, so you're giving me something else to journal about to try to, I guess, get rid of that personality as well. Because
I mean, some
it
people want
never
to
even
love you
occurred to
for
me,
it.
but that's part of the entitlement and toxicity because it never
Mhm.
even occurred to me. Do you want me to? Did you say listen?
Yeah, do you want me to just listen to you or do you want me to give my opinion?
Okay, I'm gonna have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to keep that one. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. So, would you ever tell a person that they're toxic?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. I wouldn't say it in those words. I would probably, because I'm telling you, bitch, because I was so harsh with my words and I know that it hurt, I really, it's a mission for me not to hurt people's feelings anymore. It's a mission for me to reword my what I want to say so that you can get it. Because it's that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And some people are not going to take it if it comes out. Everybody can't take the harshness. And guess what? It's not necessary for you to always bring that harshness, that roughness. Like, why do you feel like you gotta be raw with it? Why can't you think before you speak and say it in a way to where they can get it and receive it instead of trying to defend?
So you're saying like use some tact if you would like to bring it to their opinion.
I mean, that's just
Bring
I'm
it to
just
their
offering
attention.
suggestions. Like, let's say an example. Let's just say you got a friend, and this person, every time you talk to them, they're talking about, oh my God, girl, I met this guy last night, and we went and did the damn thing, and he was I can't wait to go out tomorrow because I'm gonna meet another guy. Or every time you talk to this person, they got another guy that they messing with. In your head, you like, this bitch is a hoe. Why is you doing all that? You was reckless with your body. But do you have to say that to them?
You said, do you have to say that to them?
Yeah. Do you feel like you have to tell your friend that?
Um, it seemed like they would know, but you gotta okay. You have to look at the background of the behavior. Is this
Uh-huh.
person um being that word because of some trauma, some childhood trauma?
Maybe she just thinks she just that sexy, and she's just that desired by so many men, and she just feel like she having fun. But at the same time, on the other hand, you always hearing her say, I can't, I want a relationship. But her actions are not matching up. As a friend, how do you tell this person without them being offended and it cause an argument?
Oh, can you keep talking on BB Nice? I'm trying to get this mouse together. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm just thinking, oh, wait. Aisha said I wouldn't as long as my friend is happy and safe. Okay. Okay, but she's not that happy. Let's just say she's not that happy. She's pretending to be, but because if you can't say I just really want to be in one relationship, and every time you turn around, you sleeping with this person and that person. Every time you turn around, you with a different guy. Every time you turn around, so you can't be that happy. Are you the friend that's going to say, well, girl, you better stop sleeping around with all these men? Or are you the friend that's gonna say, are you happy? Are you gonna be honest and say, are you happy with the way how you doing your business, how you dealing with all these different guys? Like, what type of friend are you going to be to that person?
That was I've never been in that situation, but there has been I'll even say this one, people that I know that are like repeatedly evicted and stuff, and I have wanted to have a discussion, but I didn't know how to do it without offending them. Or my fear was that I was going to offend them. However, I will say this, I do feel like that made me a dishonest person, a disingenuous person, because I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Because maybe the person could have shared something with me where I knew about resources that they didn't, or programs that will help them, avoid situations like that.
But why did you feel like why did you feel that you was going to automatically offend this person if you told them something, what was on your heart and in your mind, and really being sincere? Why did you automatically think that you was going to offend this person?
I don't know. I just didn't think. I don't know if it was because they had several of them.
Okay.
I don't know if maybe perhaps I even felt a little bit like it was none of my business. So I'm not sure.
Hey, Andrea.
I didn't feel comfortable mentioning. Hey, Andrea.
Hello. This is really interesting, the questions that you're asking, because like, as a reformed, judgmental person, one of the things I had to start doing is asking myself, am I the one to tell a person? Is it true what I'm saying? We all have different definitions of what a thing is. And so to avoid becoming toxic, I like to pull it out of them. Like, if using your example, BB Nice, a lot of times it would be, I'm a questioner. So if their life is not going the way they want, first thing I'm gonna ask them is, what do they think is going on? A lot of times people need you to reflect back what they're already thinking. They want to say it out loud. A lot of times, like what Benj was saying about journaling, your answer comes from yourself. You just need that person. Because if I say, girl, you're a hoe, have I healed? Have I helped? That's the point of not being judgmental, is to, now everybody is judgmental. I don't want to say I'm not judgmental, but I had to lower it a lot because of that.
Right. And that's the example that I was making, because first thing on my mind in my past would have been, you want some whole shit, because that's really how I was thinking. But did I need to say that to them? No, I didn't.
No.
Right. That's what, and I'm not saying that that's exactly how it happened, or those were exact words. I'm just giving you an example of how raw I used to be with my friends, and I didn't mean it to hurt them. I just was just being myself, but it was very harsh and it was mean.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, depending on the person, sometimes I'd rather a person just tell me straight out what they're thinking as opposed to subliminal stuff and sneaky stuff. So if a person is thinking that I'm a hoe, I'd rather know that's what you're thinking, because I know how to deal with you.
Right.
Because for one thing, my heart, I'm just going to say I'm in that situation. My heart is not the heart of a hoe. My heart is looking for love, looking for the companionship, because it's uncomfortable being by myself. It could be, physical touch is their love language. See,
Right.
it's a lot of things behind it. And so that's why I start to ask questions. If that person is valuable to me. Now, if they're dating multiple people or affecting their behavior to where they're being toxic towards me, I don't have to put up with that. I can make distance. So until you get that taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay. I have another example. So, like, what if you have a friend that is overweight, and you have tried every which way to say, this person she's not happy with her weight, but she pretends as if she is, but it comes out, the real comes out, and you can see it as a friend. Now, at the end of the day, are you toxic when you have gave every suggestion that you can give, she's still not doing it, she's still doing eating or doing all the unhealthy things, and then you get on a phone with another friend and talk about it like a dog?
That's toxic to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's toxic, because you can ask someone, people say a lot of things. I think about a friend of mine who, I kept bumping my head on the same thing over and over. And I like the way she had handled the situation with me. She literally, because she knows I like rather you just tell me instead of hinting stuff. And she knows my way of questioning. She's saying, okay, this is what we talked about last time. What are you wanting from me? And I sat and I thought about it. I was like, I just wanted to whine and complain. And really, I wasn't listening to her suggestions. And by her asking me, what are you wanting from me? It kind of woke me up, because like a friend that's overweight, but maybe they're acting like they're that they feel good about it, but they're telling you other messages. Sometimes you just don't know what they want from you.
Yeah.
And you're not a mind reader. And sometimes if you're not, and then also if you're not a person, like you don't mention anything, you just pretend it's not there, that could seem inauthentic,
Right.
because people, hey, we know that it's a problem here. It's harming you. I'm concerned about your health, but I can't be more concerned than they are. So it's always a question, that's why it's like, I like to find out where a person is thinking. I don't like to assume what they're thinking, because I could be on a totally different track. And that, I think, is more toxic, because when you're being a mind reader, like writing, I call it writing manuals for people. This is how you should be. This is how you should be. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you should be. I feel like it's unfair. And then I'm putting my judgment above theirs. And so that's why I like to find out where the person is before I give my straight from heaven advice, which is not straight from heaven.
Yeah, no, I get it. But that's what I'm saying, like, where my growth comes from is being that type of a person. And I can't even sit up here and bullshit you guys and tell you that I'm totally different and I don't do any of that shit no more. No, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say I don't do it, but I recognize it when it's wrong, and I try to change it, and I try to stay class. I work hard to not do it.
Yeah, I don't. Are we ever fully away from something like that? Because I still battle. I'm not as judgmental as I was, but I still battle being judgmental. Just I just know how to correct it before it comes out of me. But
Yeah.
I still, I mean, you can read my thoughts sometimes. I'm thinking, wow, who are you to judge someone like that? But I think that's the thing. In growing, we learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's actually how it jumped out at me about the question. Is that me with the is that me? Feedback? Okay. But that's me, isn't it? Why am I having feedback?
Oh, I don't know. You sound clear to me.
Oh. Okay, so I got to the assessment part because my pages were speaking to me as I was writing, and they were saying like, "Who are you? Like, who do you think you are? You're this and you're that. And taking it from the Bible. The Bible says that he who think he is something when he's nothing, like he's a liar. So, like, who are you to say that this person should be doing this, that, or the other? What lifestyle a person should be living.
Right. Yeah, and I'm a firm believer of that. Like, I think that's me. Do you hear?
Yeah, I can hear pretty good now. I thought I was hearing feedback earlier.
Yeah, it feels like it when I talk, it's feedback. But yeah, that's me. Like, I don't like, especially a lifestyle, because I have been judged because of my lifestyle a lot by different people. And no, they won't actually say it to me. Well, some have said it, made jokes about it, and then, I have to find myself putting them in their place or whatever. But I don't like that, because how you choose to live your life is on you. And I'm not responsible for that. And I want the same respect in return. How I choose to live my life, if I'm not hurting anyone, it's not your job to judge. It's not your job to tell me I'm living wrong or right. It's really not. And a lot of people don't understand that. And so many people are quick to throw the Bible, the Holy Quran, or the Torah. They so quick to throw out these verses at you to try to persuade you that what you're doing is wrong. And I just don't believe that you should do that.
I agree with you, BB Nice. The Bible, the Word of God is meant to be a double-edged sword. You need to apply it to yourself first, right? So that was a big part of my change. Was I read the scripture about, thou shalt not judge, as you judge, you will be judged. And so I took it on a whole mind journey from like probably 10, 12 years ago. And I realized I was judging myself a lot, which created shame in me. And that created more judgmentalism. And so I kept thinking, okay, this is why the Lord cautions us against judging, because as we are judging others by that same measure, there is judgment coming back to us.
Right.
Mercy should be applied to situations because we're all in this together, right? And so until I know how to live the perfect life, I can't really tell somebody else how to live a life in a judgmental way. But I can always suggest with hope that it's reciprocated to me, because there are some things in my life that people may notice that I'm not aware of. And if it's a reciprocal relationship, what happens with the judgmental when it's wrong is when it's an unequal relationship. Like one looks like they got it all together, the other one just messing up all the time. That one who has it together you just really shouldn't go around pointing your finger at the one who doesn't have it, because that could cause harm. But you can speak in love, true love, a person where it's mercy and it's grace. And I just had trouble applying that for a lot of years. And it freed me kind of, because I didn't feel as I lowered my judgment of others, I became less self-judgmental. Meaning that my world inner thoughts were, I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda. All of that would run through my head all of my waking hours. I should have done that better. I could have said more. It was just it was a prison. And I don't even know if I knew the word toxic then, but looking back, it was the poison that I allowed to seep into me that I was putting out to other people, and it was unfair.
Right. That's true right there. And not always, I say it like it's a broken record. When you really learn to love who you are, it's going to project outward. It can't do nothing else but project outward. So if you don't love who you are, if you don't work on self, you have nothing to give anyone else.
Nope, nothing but nastiness.
Nothing
And
but
one of the things I say too, as far as you know, unrighteous judgment and just all of the other elements that comes with being judgmental, is that sometimes that those words, because words are wines, right? So sometimes they circle back around and they don't hit us, they hit our children or our grandchildren,
yes, Lord.
and
Yes.
things like that, whatever type of judgment or
They circle back
discrimination.
around.
Yeah.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so that's also something else that I mindful of before I get ready to say something sometimes, That's them bullets, they ricochet sometimes,
Yep.
you know.
Yes, that's very true. Very true. But I guess as you get older, you become wiser. You will hope. You can only pray that as you grow older, you become wiser. It's truly a gift that, I mean, when you acquire that, it's nothing better than that. It's nothing better than growing mentally and spiritually, and that's better than anything, because the more you grow, the more you can show, and you can teach others without actually pointing a finger and saying you need to do this. You can actually people are looking at you and learning from you, just your walk of life, just the way you carry yourself. It's not that you have to hold a class, a meeting. You don't have to do anything. Just your walk could be inspiring to so many people.
I agree. So we talked a little bit about judgmentalism. Like, do you have any other thoughts towards what is like toxic, how identifying the toxicity in you? Like, one of the things that I noticed, unforgiveness was one that I struggled with, just feeling like something was owed to me instead of accepting that it is what it is, and deal with that, and stop looking outside for somebody else to apologize or do something better to make me feel better. And so that was because I look at toxic now as something that's poisoning myself or poisoning another person. The unforgiveness is behind a lot of the toxic behaviors that we see in everyday life. This is what such and such did to me, so I suspect you're going to do this to me. Or if it's someone you're still in a relationship with, family, unforgiveness, it leads to the same arguments, the same debates, the same resentfulness. So that's one of the things I was looking at for. I still need to do some work. I mean, I think I forgive easily, but some of the things that really hurt me, I have to work on that constantly. So what do you guys think?
I agree, especially, You know, we know that whatever we project, that's because that's what's inside of us. So I think that if we're having a hard time forgiving something or somebody, you know, whatever, a situation, that we have some forgiveness that we need to, you know, forgive ourselves in some area. Even if that forgiveness is saying to yourself, and this is a practice that I do. I look in the mirror, look right into these eyes of mine, and you know, I tell, you know, and that's how I affirm myself in the mirror, including, you know, telling myself what I forgive myself for. And sometimes that forgiveness is just saying it wasn't your fault, or you know, it wasn't you had no control over this, you know, to take the guilt away.
Forgiveness is something that's challenging for me. It's not easy for me to forgive. When someone wrongs me, I tend to run instead of facing it head on. I'll just wash my hands of you and just won't deal with you no more. But in the back of my mind, I'm still holding on and hurt from everything that's happened. So I think I really still struggle with forgiveness.
So you
Sometimes you're not
discard
even.
people.
I don't know who was talking.
Go ahead, Andrea. I'll mute.
Oh, sometimes I think you're not even aware. Like, I'm still, you know, I'm learning. Like, I thought I was in forgiveness. I'm still in relationship with a person that I needed to forgive, but I noticed some in myself recently, some emotional unavailability. And I was thinking, like, what is that going? What is that? What is that about? And I kind of traced it back. I kept journaling, trying to trace it to what is that about. And it was, I said, I still have some resentfulness, a little bit of, you know, unforgiveness, you know, thinking, okay, so I'm actually listing out what I can remember and trying to find that thing that just kind of holds me back emotionally from the person, even though I can sit comfortably with them, talk to them, you know, be myself. But sometimes if they do a certain thing, it just kind of makes, I go, I hate that. That makes me mad. And I'm like, but why are you mad? This is the person. So I just recently traced something back to a root of unforgiveness because I don't want to live. I don't like grudge holding. I don't like grudge holders. You know, it's very hard for me to hold a grudge. So I will, like you, BB Nice, run from it, pretend it's not there, or cover it with like a lot of positivity. And it's still there regardless, because just like a pearl is built from sand, it's an irritant. Well, yes, after a while it becomes something beautiful, but we have to work at it, supply what's needed to heal from a situation, and then from that wound there is beauty. So I just wondered, that's the thing, when I was journaling, I was like, where am I toxic? And the unforgiveness is pretty much where I discovered. So I'm kind of leaning on that right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't think I hold a grudge. I just think that, you know, I always think that I can forgive a person. However, I'm still in the back of my head waiting for them to do it again. To hurt me again. Like, it's just always it's like me never letting my guard down.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think that's a grudge, held. It's like kind of like a learn. I think the way I was looking at it was like, this is kind of the learned behavior. Like, I'm waiting for this person to say something that's gonna, and I know I'm gonna have to deal with it because I don't want an argument. And so whenever it's like, if the person does something, like, to me, a grudge, in my opinion, is when you just have ought against that person. You're gonna always expect some kind of recompense from that person. I don't believe anybody owes me anything. I do believe I need to deal, because I was given apology and I accept apology, and I really feel like the apology was sincere, but I still have that hurt.
Right.
So that's the difference for me. A grudge is like, I don't want to have a relationship with you. I got a problem with you. I'm going to treat you different because you owe me something. Mine is just healing the hurt so I could be more available to the person, and that's where I was thinking about with unforgiveness. What about you, Ben?
I think that unforgiveness on some elements have to do with trust too. Being concerned with, if I let my guard down, if I forgive this person or if I forgive myself, am I gonna, repeat the same offense? But yeah, I do hold grudges. I do. I think that I don't, but I do.
Yeah. I don't hold grudges. I just, I like I said, I just fear getting hurt over and over again. And that can't be a reality for me. I don't allow myself to do that. So I'll just go my separate ways. I'll just depart. And it could be a good thing or a bad thing because I'm not dealing with it.
So you around here just discarding people, huh?
Yeah, I will. I will. Like I don't feel like friends to me don't fight all the time. Don't have to argue. It don't have to be a constant bickering between friends. That's not a friendship. And if I find myself around a person that every time we get together we're arguing, I take the ladder and I leave. I just dismiss myself. Like I just won't deal with it. I can't be around that type of energy. That's not the energy that fits me because I'm not that type of person. So I don't want to be around those type of people.
Right.
Well, is that more of self-protection, just not, really self-care, taking care of yourself? Because sometimes, to me, violent language is toxic. Not, non-loving communication, if people just continue it, that's just not healthy. That stuff is contagious. So I think sometimes we do have to be able to walk away. But when you're walking away, you leave that issue there, as
Right.
opposed to when you find yourself retelling the story over and over and over. That's more, to me, grudge holding, and toxic, unforgiveness. But I tend to feel that if you are, it takes time to work through forgiveness. And so two of the words that I always would tell myself is be willing. And when it comes back up, be willing, right? Because we're all, and I tell myself too, we're all in this together. I've harmed other people and I prayed their healing of the hurt. Even if we're not in relationship, because I could not be in relationship, but if I'm still feeling pain, that's something I need to do. I'm poisoning myself.
Right.
And the greatest self-love is freedom, creating freedom. And whatever way it is, because if you're tied back to an old memory, that's a struggle,
Yeah. And I'm really one. I notice I am one who gives second chances often. I really do. I do allow people to make mistakes because I make mistakes. So I don't, I'm no better than the next person who made a mistake. So I do give second chances, but I don't continuously go through the same thing. Once you apologize to me, because one thing I do, I listen very well. And you can't say words have consequences to me. You can't say certain things out of anger or whatever, because trust, I am listening and I hear everything that you're saying. And I take that. You can say I didn't mean it that way or whatever. If you apologize to me, I am not expecting you to do it again.
I'm the same way. Words matter to me, but even bigger than that is actions, because one of the ways that abuse sometimes happens that you're saying, Okay, I'll give you this example. I'm doing all of this for you, all of this for you, but really, BB Nice is the one that's doing everything, and I'm sitting on the couch, eating bonbons all day. But
Right.
I'm putting it in your mind. So I've learned one of the things I've learned coming out of a toxic relationship is that it's more important to what a person does than what they say.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
Do you,
Yeah.
when you're talking about a toxic relationship, do you, and we've all had some type of toxic relationship, whether it be a friendship, a familiar relationship, intimate relationship,
Even at work, or especially at
yeah,
work.
associate relationship, that type of
Mhm.
thing. And when you find and identify it as toxic, are you able to identify how you participated? Because a lot of times we blame, or people blame us, and blaming to me is very toxic. When you cannot find your own responsibility in a situation, yes, there may be one person that is more of the aggressor, but I always feel like I'm participating in this relationship. What am I doing?
Yes, I totally agree. Enabling, if it's a person that's gossips, I'm enabling by listening to them, or giving my own feedback. So that is definitely true. I totally agree with when it comes to toxic relationships, it really does take two, or
That's
three,
very
or
true.
however many that is.
Yeah. That gossiping, that's something that that's a hard thing. That's a hard pill to try to swallow, honestly. Because you can look at it as gossiping, or you can just look at it as, again, just giving your opinion on something that happened. And this is what I think about it, and it turns into like a gossiping, a gossip. I feel like this person did this and did. Now I feel like this person is this type of way. Like it just goes on and on and on. And I know I can only hold myself accountable for that. I do that. I can't say that I don't. I do that.
Yeah, I'm not above gossiping, even though I'd like to think I am, but I'm not.
I'm not.
Because I always get in the back of my mind that little good angel that says, would you say this if this person was here? And so when that comes up, I always try to deviate the conversation,
Yeah.
but you just like, some days, your ears just want to be tickled by some gossip,
I
Yeah.
think that's how most of us came in contact for indulging in gossip, or listening to
Right.
gossip or whatever. But that's another story for another
Yes.
time. I
Yes.
think it's time we could wrap it up. Because
Okay.
I know that I didn't want to have this no longer than an hour.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I
Thanks so
really
much for
appreciate
having
both
me.
of you ladies. You're wonderful, and your wonderful, authentic input.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Benj. I really do. I look at you ladies as good people, and I anticipate chopping it up with you, for real. I do, because it's like minds, and I know that we are still on this journey to growing, and it just feels good that you don't have your issues, or whatever, however bad or good you think you are. There are so many of us that are going through the same thing, and we can help each other instead of hurting each other. We can still have fun instead of knocking each other down. And it just feels good to meet good people. And it's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy it. And I look forward to meeting even more people.
I completely agree with BB Nice. We're not put on this earth to do it by ourselves. We are meant to be in relationship.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, even if the person doesn't know me, I use their experiences as a mirror to reflect on where I've gone or where I would like to be. I've used people, not used, but I've enjoyed people being a sounding board for me, because a lot, like I said, a lot of times what you need to hear will come out of your own mouth. Um, And so you can only do that when you have like-minded people. Everybody's on their own journey, but hopefully a little nugget of truth will show up that'll touch people and, be of service. It's easy to tear down, but it's so hard to build up. So I want to become better at it. So
Yeah.
but thank you, Benj, for allowing me to come up. I'm going to go down in the chat.
Yeah,
This
I
is
want to
so
say a
good.
special thank you to my love. We share the same DNA, Lucid.
Okay.
Chat, yeah.
That's
So
what's
she and
good.
I, we have deep conversations, 2 or 3 hours on the phone since she left me.
Oh,
Really just talking about evolving and building people up, being the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Always being authentic. I have so much love for her.
no, that's
So,
so nice.
that's what it's about.
Yeah.
She'll get me told. She's not gonna lie to me if I give her an example or tell her something that's happened. Want to know her perspective. She's always, authentic in
Mm-hmm.
her feedback. So I really appreciate that. And I miss you, cuz.
Oh,
Yeah, but I really appreciate you, BB, and I'm gonna be in touch.
okay.
So I had said for everybody to drop their links in the chat.
Um,
Let me see if I can grab yours.
okay.
I haven't been on StreamYard in so long. Like I said, I did my first live last year on my birthday, April 21st.
Wow. I
Yep.
love going. I love coming live. I really do. I like talking and sharing my experiences with people.
Yeah,
I don't mind doing it. I can be transparent because I know that what I've been through has made me what I am today, who I am today. And I truly love it. So I just like to share. And if I can help someone, then I've done my job.
Yep. And thank you, Andrea. That's who Andrea is. One of my writing partners.
Yes, you know what? I like Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea is the truth. Yeah.
Andrea is very, very intelligent. I love hearing her when she's
Her
on
perspectives are good.
yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yep. Very wise woman.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, ladies. Good night. Love
Good night,
you.
everybody. Thanks
It was
again, Benj,
fun,
for
and
having
I
me.
will be in touch, BB.
Okay. All
All right.
right.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Aisha.